Good evening, ladies as well as gentlemen. Papa Boris is back for some more Hearthstone Arena action. Now, I just did a Hunter today, and actually, Priest was less recent than Mage, but I have more Priest runs on this channel than Mage runs. I actually have, I think more Priest runs than anything else. And as I mentioned at the end of the last video, Mind Control should get nerfed in December when the game hits open beta. Granted, who knows when that's really going to be, but I'll try to limit my priest runs a little bit, both because I have so many of them and because the very key card Mind Control is getting nerfed. So we're going to go ahead and grab the Mage. Alright, well, we're starting off with trash, and a playable, so let's just grab the playable card and not bother about it too much more. Razorman Hunter is a 3-drop, and I already have a 2-drop, but man, I'm just so unimpressed by this card. We'll take the Sorcerer's Apprentice. Sometimes this allows you to do great things. Okay, for a Mage, this is just an overpriced Iron Fur Grizzly, so it's not great. This Battlecry can be really good sometimes, but I'm going to take the Silver Moon Guardian to have a good 4-drop there. Oh my god! Oh my god. Why couldn't one of these rares have been in the pack with the Wild Pyromancer? That would have been nice. These are 3 premier rares. Screw me like the dickens. I take Blizzard here. I mean, I think you have to take Blizzard. It's just so amazingly good. It either kills everything or it freezes everything. I mean, if it doesn't kill anything, it freezes it all. It's just amazing. Now, the Mana Worm's a superb 1-drop, but I'm going to take the Water Elemental. I think overall the impact on the game of a Water Elemental is huge. This is so much health for 4 mana, it's nuts. And then the hero ability is great against Warriors, Rogues, Druids, lots and lots of people. Okay, well, Molten Giant I'm not a big fan of. I've seen too many irrelevant last turn Giants, but Spellbender, I've played this before and I will take it again. I mean, if you get it down early when there's nothing much happening, and then you can continue to play the game with it in play, it just gives you such a feeling of security knowing that, you know, Polymorphs and Fireballs and Wraths and Assassinates are going to whiff. It's just good. So we'll grab it here. Okay, so the Kobold Geomancer is really great for mages. However, I mean, I don't have any spells at the moment other than this Blizzard, so as I don't want to pass on a spell that's good with the Kobold Geomancer just to take the Kobold Geomancer. We'll take the Cone of Cold here, it's amazing, and we'll be happy to pick that up. Okay, so the Mana Worm is a good 1-drop, definitely, and I want to have it, but, I mean, I have to give serious consideration to the Silverhand Knight. Here's the thing about mages, this is their weakness. It's the fact that they don't have any class-specific big creatures. I mean, the Water Elemental's as big as it gets. I mean, yes, they have the legendary Archmage Leonidas, but they don't have any, like, class-specific big creatures other than that legendary, so all your big creatures are coming from the neutral pack of cards. So while the Mana Worm is really fantastic and lets you get off to a great start, I think it's important not to pass on a chance to get this really, really good 5-drop here. Okie doke. So Mirror Image is nice. It's really, really good. I find that it's such a pain in the ass for your opponents to deal with, but this is the best 2-drop in the game, so I have to give it serious consideration. I've already got 2 2-drops, so this is kind of early in the draft to be taking another one. I'm going to take it, though, because mages, you can ping this thing and deal up to 5 damage with it. Like this Amani Berserker, if it's on the board and your opponent drops a Chillwind Yeti, you can trade this for a Chillwind Yeti. I mean, it's just too good not to take. Okay, well, here we have junk, pretty much junk, and then a card that I'm not a super big fan of. I hate how it stops you from playing cards, and then if your opponent does something that you have to react to, you can't play it anyway. But it's just better than this trash, so we're going to take it. Okay, well, the Wolf Rider is removal, but mages have plenty of that. And the Sorcerer's Apprentice, I've got plenty of 2-drops already. Let's not miss a chance to grab a Boulder Fist Ogre. Motion Warden, I've said before I'm okay with that card. Frost Elemental is very nice as well, in my opinion. I've seen actually in Trump's ratings, he's not a fan of that at all because of the bad stats. I think the Battle Cry is really great, though. But, yeah, we'll take an Argent Squire. Let's get a 1-drop in here. I do have a decent number of 5 and up creatures already, so we'll take an Argent Squire here to get a little bit of early game. Frostbolt. Well, I'll take pretty much any one of those that I see. I'll still take as many of them as I see. Aha, so now is where we have to start being very careful. Cone of Cold is great. I will take it over Arcane Explosion. I mean, most of the time, if you really think about it, a Cone of Cold will hit all the enemies. I mean, it's rare that your opponent gets up to 4 creatures, especially because you're a mage and you're killing stuff like a boss. So the Cone of Cold is really great, but we have to consider, like, how many spells do we have and how many creatures? We've got 1 1-drop, 3 2-drops, no 3-mana creatures, unless you count the Spellbender. We have 2 4-drops, and then, okay, so we're actually doing all right on creatures. Ah, man, the Cone of Cold is really good, though. I mean, the Frost Elemental is great, but the Cone of Cold, if you think about it, It also freezes a character, but it also deals damage. It's 3 mana cheaper. Doesn't put a body on the board, sure, but man, it's just so good. I'm going to take it here. Okay, I'm going to take the Dollar Run Mage. Now, the Raid Leader's nice. I don't have any buffing at the moment, but for mages, especially now that I am holding 2 Frostbolts and 2 Cones of Cold, it's not unlikely that I'm going to get to play this and another spell right away. I'd rather have the Kobold Geomancer, to be perfectly honest, but I will take it just to make sure I get some spell damage in the deck. Kidoke. So Fireball's an important spell, but Mana Live is Darkscale Healer, a good creature. It's a Chillwind Yeti that heals you for an extra mana. Am I taking too many spells? This is what you have to worry about. Well, look, I don't have any Fireballs yet. I think it's important to have one of these. It's definitely important to have one of them because you want to be able to kill off your opponent's 6-power creatures like their, you know, Frostbolt Warlords, their Ventrico Mercenaries, their Boulderfist Ogres with a little bit of help. I think it's important to have that. And Kobold Geomancer is nice, but I did take a Dalaran Mage, so I will take a Polymorph. I think it's important to have that as well. There was one draft I did where I didn't take a Polymorph. I took a third Fireball over the first Polymorph, and I realized that during the games there were quite a few times where I really wish I had a Polymorph because there was just stuff that was, you know, bigger than 6 health. All right, I'm going to grab the Sunwalker here. It's a nice creature. We did pass on 2 Frost Elementals, so this is a good 6-drop. It really holds the fort. And Sea Giant's just one of the best cards in the game, one of the best epics in the game, so that's fantastic. This is unplayable garbage. Okay, so this is just a generic 2-drop when I already have a decent number of 2-drops. Now, the Archmage, I mean, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 creatures at 5 mana or more. And only one of them is actually at 5 mana. The other 4 are at 6 mana or more. This is starting to really mess up my curve if I take the Archmage here. But the spell damage is good, and it is sturdy. I'm going to take it. I'm going to take it. If I see a lot of big creatures later on, I'll be sad, but I'm going to grab it there. These are all really great rares. So basically, I had the one kind of trash rare pack where I took the Wild Pyromancer, and then 2 amazing rare packs. I saw Azure Drake, Kodo, and then the Blizzard that I took. And here we see Azure Drake, Imp Master, and Questing Adventurer. Well, I think the Questing Adventure is below the other 2, and the Azure Drake's just great. I mean, I like spell damage as a mage. The card draw is nice. I currently have 0 in the deck. I think the Azure Drake has to be the pick there. Okay, so here we have another tough choice. A Premier 3-drop versus a Fireball. Well, if we look at the curve, we don't have anything to play on turn 3. We don't have any creatures on turn 3 at all. So I think I actually am very tempted by the Harvest Golem here, although the Fireball is good removal. Oh my gosh. You know what? The Harvest Golem, I don't know. Is it good enough to justify taking a Fireball? I've got 2 4-drops. I've got the Dalaran Mage at 3. I've got actually a decent number of 2 and below. Got 4 of those. Harvest Golem is a Premier 3-drop, and the Fireball, how about the Fireball here is there's a chance that I'm going to be in a position where my opponent's not playing anything that's good enough to justify using a Fireball on, so I end up using the Fireball on inferior creatures because I don't have any early plays. Man, with 2 Frostbolts, 2 Cones of Cold, a Fireball, and a Polymorph already, and a Blizzard. I don't know. I think I'm going to grab... I mean, that's what's this. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 removal spells. I'm going to take the Harvest Golem. I think we've got to make sure we get some creatures going. Okay, so interesting choices here. I mean, I could use some more 4-drops. I've got 2, but this is a pretty decent one. But Mirror Image is nice. I mean, it's nice to get that taunt and protect your stuff. So is the Kobold Geomancer with the Frostbolts and the Cone of Cold. Cone of Cold and Blizzard especially. Having this to drop down is also really good. But you know what? I need beef in my deck. I just need beef. I'm going to take the Ancient Brewmaster for that. Got more secrets here. Counterspell is a good secret. But Mana Wraith is nice too, especially if you're playing a control deck and you're trying to keep it slow. Making it harder for your opponent to play creatures is nice. I'm going to grab the Mana Wraith there. It's been really good for me in the past. Okay, the Stormpike Commando is interesting, but here's where we'll finally take a Mana Worm. It's like the 3rd one we saw. Oh, thank God. I was worried we'd have a draft without Flame Strike. Thank the holy heavens. Okay, so again, we have to make a very difficult choice here. I did say I would take every Frostbolt that I see, but we need beef in this deck. We have plenty of spells. I'm thinking about the Darkscale Healer. So basically, I took 2 very risky plays here. I took a Harvest Golem over a Fireball, and I am going to take the Darkscale Healer over a Frostbolt or an Arcane Explosion. I mean, I could end up paying for that. I could end up really regretting it, but I feel like those were right plays. I need to have creatures in the deck. The removal is fine. We don't need to go crazy with removal. All right, this is kind of unfortunate. I could take an out against weapons or a buff. I currently do not have any buffs, but I'm going to grab the out against weapons and the extra power in the form of the Acidic Ooze. And then, oh my god, here's where I'd love to take like a Stampeding Kodo or an Azure Drake, but we have to settle for the only playable card, which is the Questing Adventurer. Well, how'd the deck go? I think it went fine. We could have an extra Fireball in here and an extra Frostbolt. But I chose instead to get more creatures in the form of a Harvest Golem and a Darkscale Healer. So this is going to be the thing to watch in this deck, is did I kind of overcompensate for my previous failed Mage runs where I took too many spells and didn't have enough stuff to play? Am I going to be holding on to a Harvest Golem with my opponent's Boulderfist Ogre on the board, wishing to the Holy God that it would be a Fireball? We'll see. Grimslock the Warrior. Okay. Well, this is definitely slow. This I have to keep. I think it's really good to drop on turn 4. The question is, do I keep the Spellbender? I can't. I need to maximize my odds of getting some actual things to play. Alright, my deck does not oblige me. We've got a great turn 4 and turn 5. Turn 1 it's okay to pass on, but the fact that I'm passing on turn 2 and turn 3 is a little bit worrisome. If this opponent has a fast start, let's say just turn 1 Flame Imp, I might just lose the game. Because if I don't draw into any of my removal. Okay, that's not really helping the situation in the slightest. Please pass the turn. Please pass the turn. Uh-oh, he's thinking like he has multiple 1-drops and he's not sure which one to play. Ah, crap. That's not good. That is the opposite of good. It is, in fact, bad. Maybe you will just pass the turn? Pass the turn? Come on, buddy. You don't want to play cards. Cards are for amateurs. You're a professional. You're Gul'dan the Warlock. You don't need piddly cards to win the game. You just pass the turn and let the game win itself. Take a very zen approach to things. No! He doesn't pass the turn. Balls. Wow, passing the turn to life tap. Well, you're trading the coin for a card, essentially, is what you're doing. It's a play that I respect. I don't know. I think it's decent. I don't think I would personally make it. I would rather use the coin to accelerate something already in my hand rather than getting an extra card. But it's I wouldn't, you know, go hard on someone for making that play. He's getting rid of a Flesh-Eating Ghoul, so we got rid of one of his next turn plays. That's good. This is pretty much the ideal situation for a Succubus. I had nothing on turn 2. The Mana Worm is late to the party. I'm going to play it anyway, though. Basically, what I'm using this Mana Worm here is if he is tempted to attack into it with the Succubus. This is like a 1-mana heal 4. Not great, but it's better than, you know, having it sit in my hand and not do anything either. I really wish I had one of my 3/2s, either the Sorcerer's Apprentice or an Acidic Ooze, because then this would have been a whole lot easier to deal with. So next turn is ugly, because if my opponent attacks me, or kills the Mana Worm for that matter, it makes no difference. Either I ping this off and play nothing, or I, you know, play something and leave it alive. Well, okay, that definitely settles that issue. We have to polymorph this thing. So now this is 2 cards in 1, so I don't mind at all. God darn it, Sorcerer's Apprentice, you're too late. I could play it, then I'm 1 mana short of polymorph, so yep, I gotta polymorph this. And I'm gonna need to kill this sheep, I think. Let's just be super safe. I don't want this getting Dark Iron Dwarfed and killing off my Mana Worm or any of that nonsense. Dark Iron Dwarf's just 1 common, there's no guarantee he's even holding one, but I'm just not taking any chances. We're playing super safe here because we had a super slow start, so we're just trying to preserve as much life as we can, keep the board as clear as we can, and then try to survive into the late game. I mean, we've got good cards here, just need to be able to play them.
So many possibilities.
Alright, that doesn't bother me in the slightest. That doesn't bother me. He should have drawn first instead of playing this, because it's possible he life tapped into a 3-drop. That was actually a potentially very serious mistake. And here we have a couple of options. I mean, one option is I can panda this back into my hand and then replay it right away. Another option is we could just trade 1-drop for 1-drop and then play out Silverhand Knight. Holding on to the Azure Drake, although it draws cards, because honestly cards are not my problem. I have plenty of cards. It's more about just getting the cards I have onto the board. Another option is I could actually ping this off with the hero ability, play the Sorcerer's Apprentice. That doesn't use up all my mana, but it does let me keep my Mana Worm on the board. So we'll do that. We're gonna get rid of the Leper Gnome and keep a creature on the board. So I'm keeping 2 little creatures here rather than trading and getting just 1 big creature. Although I guess I could have had 2 creatures anyway with this. Yeah, maybe I should have traded Mana Worms, because this also puts 2 creatures out on the board. Wisp. Wow. Well, my opponent's playing with some really questionable cards. That is a fact. Especially against, that's part of the problem. I mean, Wisp, even if your opponent isn't a mage, this is just so easy to kill without losing a card that even though it's free, it's not really free is the point. It's still costing you a card in your deck, and that is a problem. Maybe as a Warlock, though, this is something to consider. As a Warlock, you don't mind going down on cards, because, I mean, it does... your hero ability gives you cards. That is something interesting. Maybe Wisp is a reasonable decision as a Warlock. Or maybe this was just a bad pack. Or maybe my opponent is actually bad. We don't know. Could be anything. So next turn, I'll probably want to hero ability this. Again, just trying to play it totally safe. Keep my creature's health up. Keep my opponent's board clean. Then I've got 4 mana left over. I'll probably play the Silver Moon Guardian, because he inhibits the most plays. The Jungle Panther is a very unfortunate thing to see, because I can't deal with it right now, sadly. I never did take any of the Arcane Explosions. Well, here... one option is actually to use the Panda and save my Sorcerer's Apprentice. Problem with that is the Jungle Panther just lives for the chance to kill a Panda. It cannot kill a Silver Moon Guardian or a Water Elemental, though. It can actually kill my 5-drops, but it can't kill my my 4. Or it can't kill my 4-drops, but it can kill my 5-drops, which is funny. I don't actually care that much about saving this. I don't think, just because this is gonna die potentially. This is just gonna die anyway. So yeah, what we'll do is we'll use this to kill the Wisp. We'll wish that my Mana Worm could trade for the Panther. Just call it a day. And then, oh man, I don't want to play my 5-drops because they actually just die to this stupid Panther. But I want to use up all my mana. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to play the Silverhand Knight and the Squire. So I'm not super thrilled about getting hit for 4 damage. At the same time, I'm at 18 health. My opponent's at 21. I'll be able to kill off this Panther easily enough, and then I'm hitting him for lots. So I ended up doing okay. He had some slow turns, and at the end of it all, our life is roughly equal, and I've got the board advantage. Doomguard is a pretty good card, though. Oh my goodness, that's going to be a hard one to deal with. 7 is a lot of health. Now I kind of wish that this were on the, or that this Divine Shield was on the board. So he's rushing me down. He is going for the throat. Cone of Cold. Oh my god, that is so good. I can't even believe it. I wish I could play the Azure Drake and Cone of Cold, because that would actually kill off this Panther. But I do not mind this at all. So there's a chance he has a silence, and we'll actually be able to silence one of these and attack me anyway. That is a risk I'll take. So we'll do Cone of Cold. And I could hero ability to finish this off, but I do want to get a creature on the board, so we're actually going to pop off that Panther. And we're going to go ahead and play Water Elemental and swing. So the best thing that my opponent could possibly conceivably have is a silence. That would allow him to attack with the Doomguard for 5. But I'm at 8. Seems unlikely that playing a silence, which is at least 2 mana, and having only 2 cards left, he could actually kill me for 8 damage. He could have a Soulfire, but that would throw the other card away. Yeah, I don't think he could do it. I don't think he could be done. And if he doesn't have a silence, then he has to deal 13 damage, which is very tough. Cult Master. Alright, it's a good card. Not under the circumstances, though. Ancient Mage, okay. So that was actually not a very impressive turn for my opponent. I think I just win now, do I not? 3, 5, 9, 12. Yeah, we got enough. So my opponent did the right thing. He just played all this stuff out to see if I could be razzled-bedazzled, but I could not. Well, in this arena, we did not see the Darkscale Healer, nor did we see the Harvest Golem. So currently, we do not know what the impact was of my not drafting those Fireball and Frostbolts. So we'll see. But that was a pretty strong game. My opponent had not quite as aggressive enough of a start as he needed to have to take advantage of my slow start, and then I just had all the good cards. Did I even use any spells? I used a Cone of Cold. That was all I used, was a single Cone of Cold. Man, Cone of Cold is so good. I love Mage, but I have to say, I think something's up with those freezing spells. They seem a little bit too good to me. Wrist the Priest. Alright, so one OP class versus another seems fair. Oh man, you know what? I'm just gonna keep all this. So I've got plays for every turn except turn 2, that's fine. I just really like all these cards. This is big, so it's nice against priests. This cannot be shadow worded, and it puts stuff on the board. And I drew a 2-drop. Well, that's pretty perfect. Now, the reason I kept the Spellbender is against mind control. And, I mean, Shadow Words and Mind Control, those are all really great. The only problem with Spellbender is if my opponent plays like a Power Word Shield or something. Oh my god, if this actually kills my Urgent Squire. Well, could have been worse. Oh my god, that's so annoying. I hate this thing so much. I could play the Sorcerer's Apprentice and then have it trade with the Mad Bomber, but the problem is that he could actually use the Mad Bomber to hit my Urgent Squire, then heal him up. Yeah, we'll just kill this thing. It sucks that one of his bombs hit me, but such is life. So we ended up missing our 2-drop anyway, but we did something good. We traded our 1-drop against his 2-drop, which is fine. Alright, the Fairy Dragon. Well, it can't be targeted, but what it can have happen to it is I can coin out a Water Elemental. So the best card for my opponent here would be a Shadow Word Pain. If he were to have that, well, that sucks, because all I can really do next turn is just play this and hope it trades for the Fairy Dragon. If he has a Shadow Word Pain, I really wish I would just play this, because then I could have kept the coin and kept my Water Elemental. But I'm going big or going home here. Hoping he doesn't have the Shadow Word. He could still have it. He could be slow rolling it like a doo-doo face. No, he has a Light Well. Okay. Well, I think that's fine by me. Yeah. Let's see. I could play Spellbender or Sorcerer's Apprentice. Notice how he's putting the untargetable creature in the middle to guard against Cone of Cold. Very smart. I can't kill this. Yeah, I could attack it. Hero ability down to 1. Nope, can't kill it. So I either play the Sorcerer's Apprentice, or... I mean, I could polymorph this thing, but that seems a bit silly. I'm gonna play the Sorcerer's Apprentice here. Oh, geez, that seems weak. I'm gonna actually play the Spellbender. Let's do this. Let's take this opportunity to play the Spellbender. This has a number of side benefits. Number one, you know, he seems like a canny player, keeping that Fairy Dragon in the middle. You know, he might be afraid of Mirror Entity, so he wouldn't play something big. That's a possibility. He might be afraid of a Vaporize. I mean, the mind games aspect of it could affect him. Alright, I could use Polymorph on that Scarlet Crusader. But I think, all things considered, the Silverhand Knight holds up against the Scarlet Crusader just fine. He can pop the Divine Shield and kill the Squire, but then the hero ability will finish off the Scarlet Crusader. Just in general, Scarlet Crusader is not great against mages. It's a really good card, but there are situations where it's not good, and you are playing a mage is one of those times. With luck, next turn, nothing super scary will happen. I can just play the Archmage. Well, I want to play the Archmage, but this 4/6 will just kill my Silverhand Knight. Oh man, what I'd rather do is play Cone of Cold, freeze this thing from attacking, and then I still can play some other stuff. I can actually play this, this, and this. But notice here the problem with this Mountain Giant. The more stuff I play this turn, the harder he is to play next turn. That sucks. So I could polymorph this thing, ping off the Scarlet Crusader, ping off the sheep with my dude. The risk is that he'll play something even scarier later, and I don't have another polymorph to deal with it. Now, as a mage, I can't, like, work down things with my hero ability, because the priest can always just heal back up. So that deserves consideration. So, let's see. The other option is just forget this Mountain Giant. I could just play Sorcerer's Apprentice, Cone of Cold for 2 mana, Mana Wraith. The Sorcerer's Apprentice will die, the Lightwell will get healed, or one of these will get healed by the Lightwell. And then it'll be frozen, and I'll have a lot of stuff on the board. I will be very vulnerable to a Holy Nova, though. Yeah, we'll do this. Okay, so we'll see what happens. I do have the Spellbender here, which is kind of nice. This Mountain Giant I can play next turn because I only played 1 card from my hand, and then it can't be mind controlled the turn after that because of Spellbender.
You gotta be kidding me!
Alright, well, alright, this is it. That's about as good as I can hope for a situation. So what I'm going to do here is take the opportunity to play a Mountain Giant. My guy's attack makes absolutely no difference because whatever... Actually, no, it does make a difference. Haha, he actually can't heal it up all the way. So we're going to do this. So the Lightwell can heal up part of the damage. Just 3 of it. And then he has to use his hero ability if he wants to heal up the rest of the damage. So his creatures are really expensive now. Mind Control on this won't work because of Spellbender. He hasn't attacked me yet, so he doesn't know if it's Ice Barrier or Vaporize, but he might be scared of the possibility of it being Counterspell or Spellbender enough to not try to Mind Control my guy. That's actually going to run in. Is that a Holy Nova that's coming up? Stormwind Champion. Ooh, that's well. That deserves a well played.
Well played.
So, yeah, that was a very well played move by my opponent. He cleared off all my dangerous threats, and he's good to go now. Okay, let's take a look. With Azure Drake, Frostbolt deals 4 damage. I could then ping this thing for 5 damage. That is not enough. And my opponent could always heal this back up to 4. And then I could trade it in later. Is that the best I could do? I could play this thing. Oh, man. I don't like the idea of 2-for-1ing myself, like Frostbolt and my guy. But notice my opponent's super low on cards. Like even like a 2-for-1 is not the worst thing in the world. Let's actually do this. Let's do this. Draw a card. It doesn't die to any Shadow Words or anything. Questing Adventure is interesting. But I think I'd rather sneak this out. Always look at, when things change mana costs, always consider it, because, you know, it didn't look like that was possible, but it is. And I'm actually going to be a little bit sneaky here. I'm going to go ahead and sneak some damage through. Now, the reason for that is that when he heals this guy up, it'll still be at 4 health, so my 4/3 knight, who's done his duty, will be able to still kill off the Stormwind Champion. Now, there's a chance that I'm not even going to be doing any trading. I might just play Code of Cold and, you know, freeze this stuff in place, play more stuff. Mind Blast. Oh, okay, he's playing with Mind Blast. Wow, I guess Spellbender cannot redirect that, so it's spell damage to enemy hero. Okay, interesting. Yeah, this actually seems really good. So I have 2 options here. One is to play a Questing Adventure, Cone of Cold, freeze all this stuff, and then play out like, see, that would be 5 of my mana, and then I could play like 2 creatures, make this guy. Oh no, I play just one of these. I just play 1, make him a 4/4, no Shadow Words, and the Holy Novas, no nothing. Or I could play the Archmage, which actually would make this deal 3 damage to the team, which is a lot. It would actually kill off the Squire, and I'd have a 4/7 rather than a 4/4. I think we'll do this. This seems incredibly good. I wish I had 1 more mana so I could pick off the Stormwind Champion, but I'm not going to complain. Alright, and we'll go ahead and pass the turn then. Mind Vision does not give him anything good whatsoever, so I'm really happy about that.
Give me a quest.
He got the Questing Adventure, which I guess was the best thing he could have gotten. Flesh-eating Ghoul. Oh boy. And a Harvest Golem. Oh gosh. Well, here's where I could use a Blizzard. This could have been a Fireball, which would have taken out the Questing Adventurer. Well, okay, one move is very obvious here. Whoa, 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 whoa. I might actually want to kill this Flesh-eating Ghoul first. Can I win? Hang on a minute. Can I win? Oh my god, I almost missed that I can win. He almost razzle-bedazzled me, the jerk. Okay. That's going to be well played. He did absolutely the record move. He just played everything out. Maybe instead of that Harvest Golem, he could have healed himself? I mean, had he done that, I could have gotten him down to 1 health, but I couldn't have killed him. So, perhaps that was a slight misplay on my opponent's part. But anyway, luckily I looked for the win just in time and took the win off. Otherwise, he had a much better board than I did, so while I had the opportunity to trade how I wanted, there wasn't really much I could do to trade super well. So that was a close finish and a good game. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video, the start to the arena. If you did, please like and or subscribe. I'd appreciate that tremendously. And if you want to see how it ends, well, by golly, stay tuned, because you're going to see it in a bit. I'll see you then.